I'm sure you have heard about the classic race between the rabbit and the tortoise, where the moral of the story is slow and steady wins the race. But have you heard what happens afterwards? The rabbit, determined to prove that speed and consistency are just as important as perseverance, challenged the tortoise to a rematch, and that's where things get really interesting. Let's hear the second part, the rabbit's revenge. The rabbit paced himself and ran consistently, using his speed to his advantage. The tortoise, on the other hand, tried to keep up with rabbit's pace but ultimately lost it. The rabbit had proven that speed and consistency can be just as important as slow and steady. And this part of the story teaches us that there is no one size fits all approach to success. What works for one person may not work for another. We need to find our own strengths and weaknesses and use them to our advantage. But, my dear friends, the story doesn't end here. The tortoise, determined to prove that he is not just a one trick pony, challenged the rabbit to a third race. And this time he chose a different terrain, the water. The tortoise, being a strong swimmer, was confident that he could win, and he did. The rabbit struggled to keep up, and the tortoise crossed the finish line first. But as they caught their breath and reflected on the race, the tortoise and the rabbit realized that they had been foolish to compete against each other. They both had unique strengths and weaknesses, and it was unfair to compare them. So, this part of the story teaches us that we shouldn't compare ourselves to others. We all have our own strengths and weaknesses, and we should focus on developing our own unique talents. And that's where the story takes a beautiful turn. The tortoise and the rabbit decided to put aside their competitive nature and become friends. They learned to appreciate each other's strengths and weaknesses. And one day, as they were exploring the forest together, they came across a wide river. The tortoise offered to carry the rabbit on his back and help him cross the river. On the other side, they encountered a dense, winding forest path. This time, the rabbit offered to carry the tortoise on his back and help him navigate through the forest. And so the tortoise and the rabbit continued to explore the world together, using their unique skills to help each other and learning to appreciate their differences. Now, this story teaches us that in today's fast paced and competitive work environment, it's easy to get caught up in comparing ourselves to others. But, my dear friends, this story reminds us that everyone has unique strengths and weaknesses, and that we should focus on developing our own talents. By embracing our differences and working together, we can achieve far more than we ever could alone. So take a cue from this tortoise and the rabbit story and focus on building strong relationship with your colleagues and other cross-functional team members, and grow together and make an impact in your organization and the market as well. So, my dear friends, what's your takeaway from this story? Don't forget to share it with me in comment section. And yes, if you like it, share it with your friends who need it. And don't forget to follow me for many more such fantastic story with a beautiful turns coming up on your way. All the best.